speaking of unions, I want to introduce present to you a man who I consider to be one of the most enlightening labor leaders in the country today. A man who I've said to him, is the modern day Samuel Gompers of the labor movement, a great leader, Andy Stern, the General President of SEIU.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. We come together at a pivotal moment, an historic crossroads, in the search for real solutions to transform America's healthcare system. Today, California took a giant step towards assisting the growing number of hardworking, tax-paying, middle-class families, too many whose only healthcare plan is a prayer that they won't get sick, whose only doctor is an emergency room, and his only realistic chance to live free of both increasing healthcare costs and being an illness away from financial disaster is the plan that the Assembly just passed along with the Governor's leadership. Which is why SEIU is here today to formally endorse this plan on behalf of our 600,000 California members and the patients we serve. Let me be the first to say thank you to the Governor and to the Speaker for showing us how bold leadership, how political courage, and yes, how even compromise, making tough choices, shows that government can be part of the solution to solving the problems of hardworking Californians, and that's just what they did today, and we all owe them eternal thanks and gratitude. Thank you. Let me just say the plan passed today is both practical in drawing from the lessons of a Republican governor in Massachusetts and the three leading presidential frontrunners in the Democratic Party, and it's principled in meeting the twin goals of reducing health care costs for the insured while at the same time providing coverage for the 4 million uninsured. And it's precedent-setting because California, the most populous state and diverse state in the nation, can make health care happen, can show this country that it can be done. The one single repeated proven lesson of health care reform that we've learned, as the Governor said, for decade after decade, is the longer we wait, the worse it gets. Waiting is just not an option for too many Californians. Today, California started building a new road to reform that I believe history will show that California was the tipping point in the long-sought dream of America, where every single man, woman, and child who works has a choice of secure and affordable and quality health care plans for themselves and their families. Now, may we have the wisdom and the courage to make the dreams of Californians and America come true. Thank you. I'd now like to introduce a business leader who has become the preeminent voice in the business community, not just for healthcare reform, but for wellness and prevention and for a healthcare system that works for everyone, the CEO of Safeway, Steve-Burd.
Thank you, Andy. The first thing I want to do is really just applaud the efforts of the Governor and the Speaker for what they've done here. I truly believe that this will be recorded as a historical event. Clearly we are not finished. I think there's a lot more work yet to be done. If I could use a football analogy, I think we're in the red zone. And I think you've gotten there without throwing a single pass. I think it's been a rough ground game. I remember, when Andy and I first met, which was a little over a year ago, I remember we talked at the governor's conference. We said, we think this guy has the will and the commitment to make this thing work. I later met the Speaker, and while a lot of the popular press was sort of suggesting that this couldn't get done, Andy and I were talking regularly, and we were betting that it would get done. And I think that we don't have the full business community or all unions necessarily on board with this effort just yet. But I would just ask those that want to be critical about what's been done here to just think thoughtfully about what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to accomplish something that no one has ever done. We're trying to bring health care costs down when they're escalating at a rapid rate. We're trying to get all Californians covered, and we're trying to do it in the most fair way possible. So while it's easy to think about what you might write as the legislation, I would write something different. I'm sure the governor would, the speaker would, and Andy would. But at the end of the day, it's not fair to criticize unless you have a solution that you think is eminently more fair. And I don't believe there is a solution that's been advanced that is any more fair than this one. This is a game changer. And I think that California has appropriately taken the lead here. I speak not only as the CEO of Safeway with some 200,000 employees, some 70,000 employees in the state of California, but I also chair a coalition to advance healthcare reform. We have over 50 companies, and they're just as interested as I am, the governor and the speaker and Andy Stern, in getting this kind of reform. So we're on the 20-yard line. I intend to be on this team until we cross the finish line.